How does sperm come from the breastbone, the backbone of a woman?
Oh, the Quran talks about يَخْرُجُ مِنْ بَيْنِ الصُّلْبِ وَالتَّرَائِبِ. It proceeds from. So it doesn't say it begins its journey. It doesn't say this is what it's stored. It doesn't say this is what it's made. It's all about expulsion. It's expulsion of them. So you must have really looked into what does science have to say. Otherwise, you'll be making a fool of yourself, not knowing what the biology is, and then claiming it's a scientific mistake. According to science, you have in your human anatomy what we call the testicles, right? The testes, in which the sperm develops. Maturing, as they mature, they travel through the epididymis, going along this seminal duct, right? Called seminal vesicles. It's called vas deferens. All the way it travels up, and there's this ampulla. Okay? So when during the coitus, during the point of ejaculation, the secretions from the prostrate gland, the Cooper's gland, from the ampulla, from the vas. According to medical science, as I explained to you, all of these things, they don't come from your, ignorant belief, from your testicles. It doesn't come from there during ejaculation. It will take you 7 to 14 days. You have to wait for that. So, because it doesn't come at that point during ejaculation, so it comes from the other places that I mentioned, mixture of these fluids. Now, where is it located? If you think a human body is like a cylindrical, because that's how in medical science we explain the anterior and the posterior, right? We describe the human anatomy, location of organs using this kind of terminology. This is anterior to, this is posterior to. Human body is like a cylinder. To understand the position of, I will now teach you properly what science says. So the answer is this. In a cylindrical body system, we describe the location of the internal organs by the anterior or the posterior of the cylindrical shape. What the Quran does, it gives you a position of. The position of this is between the backbone and the ribs. The backbone is the anterior position, and the posterior position is a spinal column. So now what we find is the Quran is exactly as it says, in between, min bayna sulbi wa taraib, from in between the anterior position and the posterior position, which is where it's located. So according to the science doesn't have a problem with that. Science is exactly, this is located in between these two anterior and posterior positions. So you have been debunked in your understanding of what the Quran says, what the science says.